Now, here's Greg Kerr.
And welcome once again to the Renegade Report. I am Greg Kerr. Once again, we'd like to thank the people who make this show possible, Louis Amestoy. Also, the man calling the shots, Chris McCullough, and our producer, Francis Mayer, as we go through the campus of Bakersfield College to talk about things going on with the Renegades, both past and present, and look ahead as well. In our first segment, in fact, we have a busy show today. We're going to have BC Athletic Director Sandy Taylor, also the wrestling coach Brett Clark. Jeff Chudy will be in, the football coach, for a segment or two. And Dr. Bill Baker will be in as well. Maybe appropriate that he comes in after a pretty nasty injury to one of the Renegades this past week. Talked to Doc Baker, who's been on board for over 3 decades. What a yeoman's job he does, not just at Bakersfield College, but this community and what he has done. As far as around campus, let's talk a few things before we get to our first guest. Volleyball. Carl Ferrer said, hey, look, we're going to take on a tough schedule, see where we are. He's finding out early, but once again, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? They lose to Grossmont in 3 straight, 25-15, 25-21, and 25-11. Courtney Grants, by the way, had 7 kills. Tyler Herring was 6 in that one. Also in the same day, they were playing a couple teams. Santa Barbara City College defeating the Lady Renegades 26-24, 25-15, and 25-12. Tyler Herring with 6 kills in that one. Kayla Romero with 5 kills for BC. By the way, they'll be back in action September 17th against Allen Hancock. Ladies golf, meanwhile, they just know where to travel. They're going to Santa Barbara. Enough said. Okay, they've got a great schedule. They will be in action on the 15th. Lady Renegades there. As for soccer, started the season with a 5-0 win over COS. Bumping the road up against Ventura as they lose by a final of 7-0. They are 1-1 on the season. They face Contra Costa tomorrow in women's soccer. We are happy to be joined right now by Athletic Director Sandy Taylor and also first-year wrestling coach Brett Clark. So welcome to both of you. Sandy, I'll start with you first of all. When it comes to BC athletics, we're talking 18 sports, 9 men, 9 women. What a great menu they offer of kids, not only from Kern County, of course, which is the bulk of your athletes, but also just athletes from anywhere who want to come to Bakersfield College. Talk a little bit about what you offer.
Well, it's really a very vast program when you think about it. A number of individual sports as well as team sports, and as you mentioned, across both genders. So we're really blessed to have the support that we have to offer such a vast variety of sports. And, it's just tremendous to see the number of student athletes. We offer every sport that the 3C2A sanctions, with the exception of water polo, women's water polo, and now they just started sand volleyball effective July 1st. So there's a couple of sports that there just isn't had time to start sand volleyball, and then water polo, there's a couple of upstarting programs here in the high school, so we obviously need to look at those offerings. But we offer every sport there is, with the exception of that, and badminton, but there's no badminton in this area.
Yeah, and I was going to say you were a coach, but once a coach, always a coach. We know that.
Absolutely.
But having said that, as an athletic director, what's sort of your mission statement for the student athletes at Bakersfield College?
Well, my mission as an athletic director, to me, is to provide the best opportunity for our student athletes so that our coaches can coach. Jan Stubbe used to preach that to me all the time, is that anything we can do to make the coach's job easier. And as a head coach, I have a feel for the stress they're going through, obviously not on the magnitude of Coach Chudy in football, but to know on game day what they need to not worry about. And so that's kind of my goal, is to see what kinds of things we can make easier for our staff so that they can concentrate on their contact with the student athletes and give them the best coaching possible.
All right, now we're showing some video right here of softball, of which you were head coach for 23 years. And one of the shots we showed, and if we loop it, we'll show it again. It was a wide shot of the facility, there it is, Dina Ada Gay Complex. First of all, talk about what they've done for baseball and softball, and also just your experience as a head coach of softball for 23 years.
Well, starting up that facility was like a highlight of my career, because not many coaches get to open a complex like we were able to do. Dean and Ada Gay's magnificent support financially. Tricia Gay is their granddaughter, and she's been an assistant coach for me and is one of our athletic trainers. So that was the connection to that piece. But, they're longtime supporters in the community, and you see their name everywhere. I didn't realize where all they were, but they're everywhere.
I just recently went to a hospital.
Yes.
They're there.
The hallway.
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
everywhere. And, that was a great experience, and it was a collaborative experience with baseball and softball working together to get some things done at the same time. So it was across both genders again. So that says something about our college and where we are with that piece of it. And it's just phenomenal to be a part of opening a stadium like that. Softball will always be my first love. That was what I came here to do, and I'm thrilled to have been a part of it for 23 years. And you can walk away from it knowing that, that you accomplished a lot of things that way, but mostly just the relationship with those student athletes. I can't tell you how much I miss that piece of it, and looking at that kind of, brings back some emotion that, I'm not used to dealing with all the time. But, that was the greatest experience
Yeah, when
ever.
you don't have the day in, day out, there's sort of the disconnect, because that's the fun part, is when you day in, day out, not only see their progress, but you get to know them as human beings and just sort of understand them a little better than just as an athlete. And sort of,
Right.
was it hard stepping away from softball?
Absolutely. That was the hardest decision of my life, because that was my career goal, was to be a softball coach. And at Bakersfield College, I had landed the dream job, with great community support, great college support. And then with the complex being completed, hosting the state championships for the last 4 years, and, that was the dream job. And so when this opportunity arose, it was something that, I knew I needed to step up and bring something else to the table. But at the same time, that was the dream job. That's what I had wanted to do. And I actually coached softball for 31 years, because I coached high school for 8 years prior to that.
Right.
So, that was what I wanted to do. So it is definitely hard. I'm at all the games, and so it's once a coach, always
What's
a coach.
that like?
Well, it's tough. It's tough to sit up there and not go, what are they doing? But, I don't know what all they've been doing in practice, and I don't know all the ins and outs of those student athletes. So I just get to be the armchair quarterback, if you will, and watch from the sideline.
Well, you know that you could be in the media and just say, what are they doing? Because that's what we do, right?
Right.
So, all right. Now, we want to turn our attention right now to Brett in terms of wrestling. First of all, what brought you back to Bakersfield College? What was the impetus for that in terms of just saying, yeah, I should do this?
I was up there for 9 years as the assistant coach with Coach Clevis, and I always wanted to come back. And I went back into high school, and I was coaching football and wrestling at Miramonte High School, and resigned from football last year. And I was coming back into the room and talking to Coach Clevis, Coach Espejo, Coach Austin, and the opportunity arose when Coach Clevis stepped down to put my application in there, and I was interviewed, and it was just, talking with my wife too. My wife's like, hey, you need to get back up there. And so it was just a perfect opportunity for me to come back, and, it's worked out so far.
So tell me a little bit, first of all, about your staff.
We got Marky Austin as our co-head coach. He's been there, I want to say 6 years now. We actually wrestled together in 2002 together up there, and then he went away to school at Dickinson State, and he wrestled there, and he's come back and he's wrestled, and so he's been there 6 years. Just a great guy, a great technician, really good with the guys. And then Joe Espejo, who I have a little, soft spot for, because when I first started coaching my first year, my last year wrestling, he was gray shirting up there because he was behind me.
Right.
And then I stayed on coaching, so he was my guy for 2 years that I coached, and he won the state title his second year up there. So it's kind of like my first state champion as a coach.
And you were a state champion.
Yes.
So
yes.
2 of the 3 coaches there are state champions.
Yes, and Marky placed 6th, I believe.
Okay.
His second year.
Yeah. So the old saying, "Those who can't teach," isn't really true here. You guys know.
No, we're still competitive. We don't have our own avenues of what we do. I wrestled this last year at the Veterans Open in Vegas, and won the freestyle and was second at Greco. Marky and Joe do a lot of jiu-jitsu tournaments, and placing and winning those.
Well, that's the amazing thing too. When I think about wrestling, and I could think even over at Cal State, where in places where I've witnessed, is, and Sandy, you could probably attest to this too, is that it's the one sport where the coaches, I don't see, the basketball coach out there running a full court game with his players. I don't see Sandy out there, stealing second base,
Yeah.
But wrestling coaches, you're a crazy bunch because you never really leave the mat.
No, we don't. We've split up our practices in days. Monday was Coach Austin's day to teach, while me and Coach Espejo walked around and got in groups and wrestled with the guys. And Tuesday was Coach Espejo's day. My day was yesterday, and then today it's all 3 of our days. So we teach little things here and there, while the other 2 are roaming around the room, getting in groups and wrestling live with the guys. And I took a head to the chin the other day on Monday, wrestling our 97-pounder. He got me pretty good. I I thought I was for sure I broke my jaw, but I didn't.
Yeah.
So it was fun though. It keeps me young. I'm out there, keeps me in shape. My wife likes it because it keeps me in shape. So, that's a good part.
Yeah. Now, I know your first match got canceled, correct?
Yes.
Victor Valley, but you got West Hills coming in, right?
Yeah, West Hills is next Friday.
Okay.
They're a very tough team.
Yeah.
Coach Olson over there has done a great job of getting those guys ready.
Okay, so I got a little less than 2 minutes here. So just tell me a little bit about your roster, and I know you got a good local influx there too. But tell me about your roster.
We got the returning state placer Dylan Haroon at 174. He took 5th last year from Tehachapi High. Jack Murphy is back. He went away to school out of high school and come back. He's from Frontier. Caesar Luna from West High. He was wrestled 1 year, went to the military, and now he's back.
So you're in the military. You can handle wrestling.
He's in the Marines, so he's a reservist in the Marines now.
Yeah.
So he's back. We got Marcos Velasquez at 125 from Foothill High. Vincent Gomez from Frontier was a 2-time high school state placer. He's with us. Greg Pagella of Porterville. So we got a lot of local flavor with us. We got 2 Wasco kids, Jose Robledo and Jason Dibble. So we're going to be okay.
One last thing before I let you guys go, and that is, as a coach, when you say you wrestle on the mat with them, you probably learn a lot about your wrestlers just by going up head-to-head with them. You can coach them up a little better, can't you?
It's a feel. You get to learn what their positioning is with them. I grab a hold of guys, and I go hard, but I try to feel them out and see what I can help fix.
Right.
Is what I do. And then there's times that I'll go and just show them, okay, this is what you're doing wrong, and I'm going to show you why it's wrong. And the other times it's more I hold on and and then I'll stop in between matches with guys. Okay, look, this is what you have to do to fix this. Okay,
Right.
and so the other part too is just mentally keeping them up, because they get frustrated wrestling me and Coach Espejo and Coach Austin, because we've been around for a while.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we have some tricks up our sleeves.
Yeah, that's usually the case. Well, best of luck this week
Thank
against
you.
West Hills. We greatly appreciate it. Sandy, thank you for your time. We greatly appreciate it as well. We are going to take a break here on the Renegade Report. When we come back, we'll talk to head football coach Jeff Chudy. See you on the other side.